Hello, welcome to this video. Today we're going to discuss the Divi settings. This video will not be long. Most of the settings you'll understand, but there are a few that you may not be familiar with. Now at the very top you see the logo. Now the logo is going to be on your header above the page, and it is where your links for like home, whatever your destination links are at the top. So it can't be a large image. Now the Divi gallery, I suggest you turn that on. WordPress comes with the default gallery, but it's not that great. The Divi gallery has a lot of features that are very nice, so I suggest that's on. Now this next area, the color picker. This is a fantastic feature that Divi included. Right as we start the design, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to select the colors that we're going to use for the site. And after we have our colors selected, we can come back to this location and we can put in the colors that we're going to use so that they will be on our clipboard at all times. We'll always have access to them right away. Now the blog style, I would leave it off. Divi has its own blog style setting. If you want to use the Divi blog, if not, you can turn it off. Now the sidebar layout is up to you. Generally sidebars are on the right side, but there's also a WooCommerce bar, so you may want WooCommerce on the right and the sidebar on the left, or vice versa, however you would like to do it. This is 100% your decision. Now here they're asking for the Google Maps API key, and if you're going to have a map on your system, Google Maps is a great way to do it, and you can get an API key for free, and I'll drop a link in the description of the video, as well as you'll see one printed out here on the screen. Simply fill out the information that they require, and yes, they will charge, but only if, they give you a lot of visits for free each month. Now the smooth scrolling, that's kind of a tricky one. I like smooth scrolling, but some people do not like it. Basically, if you create anchor links, especially anchor links that come from another location, from one page to another, with the smooth scrolling, you will, I don't know. I think that it looks nicer, but some people don't like it, so that is 100% up to you. And you can always come here and turn it off if you decide that you don't want to go with the smooth scrolling. Now let's go to the navigation area. For the pages, you don't really need to worry about the exclude pages from navigation area here at the top, because we're going to be setting up a menu. So this is not really something that you need to worry about. Now you may or may not have the same pages that I show here. My particular settings, I only created the articles page and the home page, and then there was the privacy policy page that WordPress comes with. All these other pages were put here because of the plugins that I have and activated. They created these pages. Now in the categories area here, I suggest you select hide empty categories. In case you create a category that doesn't have a post in it, the category will not display in the widget on your sidebar as long as you have this selected. Now the builder area, I enable all. By default, Divi gives access to the builder to everyone, and that's part of the Divi setup that I don't like. We'll cover that shortly. Now the output styles inline, I believe, is for third-party Divi add-ons. You can turn it on if you'd like. I'm not real sure. I haven't done any research on it to find out what it is. Now, here at the bottom, you can select either the classic editor if you would like, or you can use the default Gutenberg editor. Personally, most of the time you're going to be designing within the Divi, so it doesn't really matter what editor you're using. Now let's move on to layout. You have here the option to show or hide items on the post page. I currently have the author and date turned off. Some may ask why you have the date turned off. My answer to that is that if someone's reading one of my older posts and it's got a date on it, even though the content is still relevant, they may select to go to another site or leave my site. So, but that's kind of iffy. If you want the date there, great. If you don't want the date there, then it's 100% up to you. Now, you may show comments or disable comments. For the most part, I leave them enabled on post pages. I do not enable them on my actual pages, though. On post, yes. On pages, no. Now, as far as comments, I have mine set up so that only members of the site can leave comments. Now, you can set it up to have anonymous comments if you'd like. That's completely up to you. It's a little harder to maintain, and you'll have to set up the comments where you look at them before you approve them. Now the next area here is ads. Currently, I don't have any ads. I'm not using any ads. I may very well in the future, but as far as right now, I'm not. Now, I will go into a little more in-depth video in placing ads and using them if you have AdSense and everything, because it's a nice little way to make a little extra revenue. Now, the SEO, I don't plan on using it. I have installed, as well as if you're a member of IDWPH, you also have installed the Elevate SEO plugin. Now, the integration area, make sure everything's all turned on. And here you have different areas where you can place code, header code, footer code, etc. Now remember, placing code can be dangerous. So make sure that if you place code in there, you know that the code is going to work. After you save it, open it in another page to test it. That's the best thing to do. That way you still have the original page open where you place the code. Now the updates area, don't touch it. Currently it's got the information in there involved so that you get all your updates and everything. Now this next area is the Divi theme builder. This area is a great feature to incorporate in the theme, and we will use this area in a later video. I will go ahead and be upfront and say it's a little confusing getting used to it because you're working with sections of the site, not like a page in general, but you may be working with the header, you may be working with the footer, you may be working with the page or something of that nature. So that is all you have to work with. And you're not necessarily putting in text and everything unless you're creating like a 404 page or something of that nature. This next area is the theme customizer. This does allow for me to point out an area for you that you may not be familiar with. Now, what they refer to as the site icon is what most of us know as, if you may not be familiar with it, but most of us know as a favicon or a favicon, however you want to pronounce that. Now the size of it should be 512 by 512 pixels, and it can be a PNG or a JPEG file because it's incorporated into the theme. It doesn't need to be an ICO file. Now the next area here is the role editor. This is the area that I told you earlier I wish that Divi would have left everything off on until we decide to grant access. Now I have not had time to test a profile with any of these settings, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head what I think they should have access to and what they should not have access to. So I will come back to this in another video, and we will and I'll be able to point out different things. Not to mention the fact that I normally create different roles. I don't give people editor access. I create my own roles for them. That's another thing that I'll teach you how to do. So next we have the Divi library. Currently there's nothing here, but not to worry about that. We will be saving things here. As you create certain pages, you may want to save the layout, you may want to save certain widgets or certain things that you design that you want to be able to have quick access to on another page so that you don't have to redesign it again. This is a great thing, and so you'll be able to use it. Not to mention that there's a lot of Divi pre-made items that you can automatically upload and use straight from Divi. This last area is the support center. For the most part, you don't need to worry about this if you're a member of IDWPH. We take care of all this for you, but for future reference, or if you left IDWPH and you needed to get in touch with them for a theme issue that you were having, this is where you would come to do it. Now you may have noticed a little cut in the film there, but navigate up to the appearance area and select menu. Now if you were following along on the last video and created a simple menu with a couple of pages on it, then your menu will probably look like mine does right now. But we're going to add another menu. So at the link up here, we're going to select that and we're going to create a new menu, and there's already a predefined one here called primary menu members, so we'll use that. And then we'll set some pages in there, and after we set the pages we'll go up to the manage locations at the top. Alright, I've sped this up a little bit, so if you're just watching, I know you're not going to get the full gist of what's going on, so I'm going to create another video, and in the next video that I create, I'll go over the pages that were made and setting up the menus so that you have log in, log out, and so forth. There's several steps involved in doing it, but it's all pretty straightforward. But I also want to go over this conditionals menu and show you how you could have multiple member types. You could have members, and then you could have like VIPs, and VIPs see a different menu than members do, and so forth. It's a great feature. It's fantastic. So we will discuss that in the next video. So stay tuned, subscribe to get any notifications for future videos, and thank you for watching.